Keeping myself fit with everyday walks has become a part of my life that I feel the need of it each and every day. And every summer, we try our best to set ourselves for a big walk, a challenging trek. And so is it for this summer with my friends. And now that we will be trekking soon, within a couple of weeks, we are planning ahead with all that we need. And with food being an essential need that has to be easy to carry, filled with proteins, less in weight, tasty, and if it also adds on being home prepped, then that would be ticking all the boxes. So here is an attempt that I made at home, making these quick and easy versions of instant packs that we can actually make at home, pre-prep and eat it hot instantly. So I begin making a healthy bar at home with all my favorite nuts. In a food processor, I have attached the knife blade, and in it I add in 1/4 cup of flax seeds, 1/3 cup of almonds, 1/3 cup of pecan, 1/3 cup of cashew nuts, 1/4 cup of sunflower seeds, 1/4 cup of watermelon seeds, and I set them to crush coarsely. I keep whizzing to make sure I have the right consistency. I check, and if not yet, then I just whiz for a couple of more times until I'm happy with the nuts being crushed. This process can also be done using a knife and a chopping board to chop the nuts, but using the processor makes the whole job done faster and easier. And now at this point I add in dates, de-seeding them. One at a time, I added in 12 dates. I prefer doing the dry ingredients first together and then combining the dates to be softened. I just keep a thick saucepan ready with 1/3 cup of jaggery and water to cover up the layer of the jaggery. I haven't turned on the flame now, but I'm just keeping it ready for later. I use a pan and add in homemade desi ghee. I add in crushed nuts and I keep stirring it until the nuts change the color. They turn aromatic and are hot at the slightest touch. Now, to those who can relate, this recipe is very closely related to Antin Undi, very authentic tasty ladoos that we make at home, also known as Gund ke laddu. It is using edible gum, which is very healthy to eat. But today, to this very traditional recipe, I have added a lot more ingredients and tweaked it in a way which is easier to make for anybody who is willing to try. I have turned off the flame, adding in 1/4 cup of golden raisins, 1/4 cup of black raisins, 1/4 cup of cranberries that I just want them to warm up and combine. I transfer it on a baking tray that I'm going to use later, keeping the usage of the vessels minimum. Now here is the edible gum packet of 100 grams that I'm going to use, and continue using the same pan, and I add in desi ghee and edible gum. They fluff up, turning crispy and crunchy, and trust me, they taste super delicious. I do this process on a very low flame, ensuring the inside is cooked as well. I felt the need of adding in a little more ghee for them to fluff up. You can also deep fry them, but I like to do it this way, reducing the fat whilst cooking. I'm crushing 2 fresh cardamom pods to a fine powder. I have some fresh cardamom powder that I'm going to sprinkle in, and around 1 tablespoon of desiccated coconut. And yes, I keep switching the same utensils to keep it to a minimum. I mix and combine. And now I have the jaggery set to a boiling point. If you are making the authentic laddus, you have got to be very careful with the right consistency. But now, with it being to a bar shape, it's easier to just melt the jaggery to a boiling point. I pour it in and combine all of it together. I use a baking sheet and I crush it to fit in easily in all the corners. I smear some ghee on the baking sheet and transfer the mixture. With the help of the spatula, I press it down, making it flat and allowing it to set at room temperature. Now I'm working on making instant upma that you can carry to your office for lunch or on a picnic or on a holiday. As I'm making just one portion here, I have one green chili, one tomato and half an inch of ginger that I grate and keep it ready. Using the same pan continuously, I add in a tablespoon of ghee, mustard seeds, chana dal, urad dal, red chili, green chili, ginger, a few cumin seeds, hing and tomatoes. I allow the tomatoes to soften and add fine semolina and roast it until it turns aromatic. I always make sure to touch it to know it's done with it being super hot. I turn off the flame and add in the required amount of salt and lime for taste and as a natural preservative. And this is how I keep it ready. I have these silicone bags at home that are great for this purpose of instant lunch to carry. They are microwavable and can also be stored in fridge and freezer, making it very easy to carry for an office lunch. Now, the alternative packing solution can be these bags from IKEA to store your instant homemade bags. And the thermal box as this one is also very helpful in packing and carrying food. I shall show y'all different ways on how I'm going to use them and you can choose what suits y'all the best. Now I'm transferring the instant upma mix into this small silicone bag and keep it ready to be used as and when I need. Now that it's all cooled down, time to cut it into bars. You see, it is all set. It's a lot easier and faster creating bars than making ladoos. I transfer these bars into Ziploc bags and are all ready that I can carry when I'm off for trekking. Now I'm set to making instant poha mix. I have a handful of peanuts, 1 onion, 1 green chili, lime and garlic and ginger paste. I use a kitchen towel to wipe down the leftover semolina on the spatula and on the pan. And just continue to use it. I add coconut oil for tadka. I splatter in the mustard seeds. I add in the peanuts and roast them until they're done. Chana dal, urad dal, 1 red chili, green chili and I add in very little of hing. Onions and I saute them until they are golden brown in color. I add in very little of turmeric and poha flakes. I mix and combine, turning off the flame. I add in dried parsley, salt and fresh lime. You can pack any of the instant pack mix either in the silicone bags or the Ziploc bags or the thermos that you have at home. If you're packing it in Ziploc bags, you have to transfer the instant mix into a bowl for mixing in water before eating. Now I'm making instant couscous chitrana. I measure in the same cup of glass to make one portion of serving. Handful of peanuts and a green chili. I'm using the same kitchen towel and the same spatula and the same pan continuously. It saves up a lot of cleaning at the end of the day. A tablespoon of ghee with mustard seeds, peanuts. I dry roast them until they change color. Chana dal, urad dal, green chili and I turn off the flame. Dried parsley, turmeric, salt and a cup of couscous. And a few drops of fresh lime. I add in desiccated coconut and mix. It's ideal to use dried herbs and dried coconut than the fresh, as the whole idea here is to keep the mix ready for a longer time. Now I'm planning to make nutty millets. You can use quinoa as an alternative to millets. With nuts being high in energy, much needed for during the trek. One last time to wipe down and then I add in very little of oil and a tablespoon of ghee, mustard seeds that I splatter in and nuts with almonds being the first. And then I add in cashew nuts until they turn crunchy and now I add in pine nuts and sunflower seeds. finely cut green chilies and millets that I roast slightly. I turn off the flame and add in pepper powder, parsley, salt and fresh lime. Now the reason I'm transferring this into the thermos is millets need to be soaked in water at least for 6 hours time before getting cooked. But for now, I'm just keeping it dry and keeping it ready so that I can cook it instantly for later. After all the 5 different instant packs ready, here is the only pan that I have used in making it, and now it is ready to go into wash. Now if you're planning to use them straight away or the following day, you can leave these bags on the countertop of your kitchen. But if you're planning to use it after a few days, then freezing is the best option to save it for longer time. If you're planning to use it more than just a day, then just placing these bags in the refrigerator should be fine. Now let me show you how we can use them. The following day, I'm using the Upma pack. I measure in 3 cups of water and I give it a mix with a spoon. I set it into the microwave. Now Upma is the option to do where you have the facility of having a microwave oven either at your workplace or at your holiday home. Let me show you how we can use anything set in the freezer. I have the poha mix and I add in water, just very little for the poha to fluff up. Now as this was in the freezer, I'm going to microwave it, but if it was just at the room temperature, if it was just in the kitchen countertop, I can just add in hot water and leave it for a minute or 2 and then just enjoy eating it. After 2 days time in the morning, I have this nutty millet in the refrigerator that I am planning to eat for afternoon lunch. So I add in water in the morning for it to soak up. But if you plan to make the alternative version of quinoa, then it's quite straightforward. Just add in water 5 minutes before eating. I transfer it into a bowl and cook the millet in the microwave, and it's all ready. These are different options on how you can pack easily at home with no preservatives added, no artificial fragrance added to any of the dishes, and can be easily made at home to enjoy it for your office lunch, holiday home, picnic or for your trekking. Now that we are off on a walk, we have bought the couscous pack and have a bottle of water. I just add in water to a level above the couscous and allow it to fluff up. After 5 minutes time, it's all ready that we can eat it straight away. I really hope you like today's idea of making these instant packs made at home than bringing it from the stores. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye for now.